Morning guys, your pal Brian. It's Sunday the 1st of October. Where has the time gone?
12.3 volts.
It's about 15 minutes before sunup or so. Man, Muttley, leave it. I've got out here bright and early. Leave it.
Flaps down. Flaps half. Flaps up 11.4 volts.
Me and Muttley got out here bright and early so we can enjoy a sunup fly. I had to look pretty close because I don't want her getting eaten by an alligator. It looks like the water is clear. Ellie, come.
11.8 volts.
But yeah, flying out here in just about dark. Dark enough where the mosquitoes are eating me up. Ellie, come.
11.7 volts.
The Mozzies love sun up and sundown. I was listening at about 6:30 to eagles. Well, at least one eagle call in the distance, which is pretty cool. Keeping this thing close so I can
11.6 volts.
see the damn thing. So as to not accidentally drill it. One of the last planes I hadn't crashed until the other day, and I guess we need to technically refer to that as a crash since I crashed it.
11.6 volts.
So the weekend, my longtime friend Diane did not come. She is the queen of flake, and actually never sent us a text or called us, which that's not normal for her, so I hope everything's all right in her world, but I'm not unnerved enough after 28 years of knowing her to call. It's just her, it's her nature. And as before with her, it's actually kind of fortuitive because
11.5 volts.
you get shit done. Hate to be that way, but love her to death. But I've got stuff done, and you know, not an inordinate amount, but put my battery back in my little generator. Beaver.
11.5 volts.
Just stuff around the house. I've got a table project out in my travel trailer. I turned the table 90 degrees because we didn't like how it sat. That's the dining room table, and we want to use it more for a desk. And in doing so,
11.5 volts.
the base of the table shook itself to death. It's glued together and shook itself to death. I'm like, that's ungood. So how are we going to correct that? Well, I have a neighbor, retired Navy diver, super nice fella. He
11.4 volts.
has his own little business called Wood Done Right, and it's literally walking distance from my house. And went over there. Ellie, come. And he looked at the base and goes, oh yeah, I can do that. So about a week ago or so I give it to him, and
11.3 volts.
they glued the old one back together and decided to use biscuits. I guess those are like little dowels between the pieces of wood when they glued it together for strength. I screwed it back on last night, and I really don't,
11.3 volts.
I don't like how that's held in. Those are just such light screws, so I'm going to do something a little different here today. I'm going to do some engineering, a little bit better engineering than I think, in addition to those screws, and then
11.3 volts.
how it was screwed into the into the carpeted area of my slide out. That there's not a whole lot I can do about that, because all I'm going to end up, you know, really only, you know, it's a kind of a light shag, and the downside is that
11.1
it's not even. So when you bolt this thing down, it's uneven, and you're naturally going to tear or have the potential to tear the boards apart. I'm going to be a little bit more careful when I bolt it down to try to bolt them down evenly. Maybe even not necessarily bolt them down firm and use the carpet as a shock absorber. LB bells. Here it comes.
11.2 volts.
It's a Nanotech 2200, older one I think. So that's my plan, is to get some hardware for it today. We're also going to get our passport photos. We are both adults who never have had passport photos. We've been able to travel out of country to the Caribbean with basically your word. But apparently after September 11th, that's a huge party foul.
11.1 volts.
So yeah, gonna need to get passports. So I'm gonna get some hardware to, nice stainless steel hardware to put that thing onto the floor with. Trying to find solutions for we've got some cabinets that like to bump themselves open.
11 volts.
This is just a memory tag for me if I watch this again. Uncle Lowell passed yesterday and my mother-in-law is going to go to his funeral.
Volts.
In fact, since we got time to kill, about 25 years or so ago, my father-in-law passed away. And he's a mean fellow, but he liked me.
11 volts.
He's from old school. Yeah, this will be interesting. So, he's from Northwest Florida, what we call LA, Lower Alabama. And in the 40s, when he was a young man, he was running liquor in a Model T. And he had his little brother with him who was 16 years old, and he had about $4,000 in cash. Well, the revenuers were on to him, and he ran from them because he wasn't concerned so much about getting caught by the feds, but he was unbelievably concerned about getting caught by his mother, getting his little brother arrested. No, hell hath no fury like mom. So he pushed his little brother out, resulting in a broken leg, and he got caught by the feds. And they took the $4,000 and then jailed him, and he was
10.9 volts.
placed in a federal work camp and taught an aptitude, which was that of being a diesel mechanic. And the other thing they did was, two other things they did was they fixed his teeth and they circumcised him. And when he told the story, he told it with great disdain that as an adult they had circumcised him. And I find enormous humor in that because it was, being around medicine, very painful operation. Painful when you're a baby.
10.8 volts.
So that's how that went. Well, I had to recount this in my dossier when I hired on to the police academy and then to the agency, that if I'd had anybody in my immediate family arrested. And
10.7 volts.
that was Pops. Arrested and convicted. So the comedy writes itself. He's a neat old man. He, true Southerner, the women stepped and fetched for you.
10.6 volts.
Landing, left or right, he said to no one in particular but the dog. Hey, Alice.